I'm Frank Vaughn. It is June 1st, 2025. What does it even matter what day it is? What does it matter who I am? I don't think any of it matters. Today's kind of a black pill day. It's not the video I was intending to make, but it's the video that you're going to get. Opposition in Canada has been reduced to voting for Liberal policy, voting for a blatant Mark Carney power grab, and then framing it in a completely misleading way. Let's just get into that first before we commentate on why the doom of this nation is the appalling state of the public mind and the influencer class. This is Northern Perspective. The Conservatives voted to move Bill C-5 to committee so it could be reviewed in more detail and fixed in capital letters. That's exactly what happened as they gutted the most concerning parts with the help of other opposition parties. Thank God for the NDP and the Bloc and the Green Party. It remains a noose around the neck of provincial autonomy. It remains a bill that concentrates power into the hands of the governing Liberals. They gain all the advantage with some loosey-goose promises of future energy development, which nobody can count on them actually bringing forward because they wrote a book. Mark Carney wrote a book called Values, where he indicates very clearly that he is not interested in energy development in Canada at all. He intends to leave it all on the ground. So we're giving away power with conservative support. And we're not going to get anything back in trade.
Today is
Look how happy he is.
a very important day for Canada. Bill C-5, our government's One Canadian Economy legislation, has just passed the House of Commons.
With conservative help.
Et la loi C-5 s'appuie sur deux.
I'm not listening to French because, honestly, it's all about Quebec, and we'll get into that in a minute. Jasmine Lane says a lot of people are angry with CPC HQ over the passing of Bill C-5. Important to note, a press release was published last night with details of amendments made in order to get that vote. They include the following. It doesn't matter when you put lipstick on a pig, a big, fat, muddy pig, a big, fat power grab by the federal government. It is still just that. It's still just a naked power grab. At a time when the Liberals, for whatever reason, are getting stronger in the eyes of the public and the Conservatives are getting weaker. So why not help them? Let's not have a confidence vote. Let's not oppose. Let's make some tweaks and then pass the agenda of the Liberal government. Maybe it's just too much for people to keep in their heads all at the same time. Maybe these concepts are too big. Canada's a broken federation. It sucks. We don't have an elected Senate. We have a bunch of nobles. We have a king. We have a governor general. We have a parliament that can be dismissed and the government can just keep doing business and spending money without approval. We have a confederation problem from the very core where one province, Quebec, rules everything. And this is the other issue that I have with C-5 is, what's the biggest problem in Canada when it comes to strengthening the country, what's left of it, and building energy projects like Energy East? Quebec. We're talking about Quebec. We're talking about also, additionally, we're talking about band chiefs, the councils, which your politicians love to take pictures with the band chiefs, but they never go to the reserve and take pictures with average, ordinary people or ask them their opinions. The issue isn't everybody else. We don't need a one-size-fits-all solution, this idea of taking 13 economies and turning them into one. We centralize power into the hands of a government that has actively opposed the strengthening of this nation for 10 years. They swapped out one idiot figurehead for a very smart and cunning one in Mark Carney, who gave us a manifesto, gave us a book that nobody read. Very few people watched the book reviews I did on it, where he explains in detail how Canada will be deconstructed, how our energy industry will be destroyed and opposed. So all the promises that they're making, they don't intend to deliver. But C-5 will give Ottawa that power, and it will benefit the government that has been harming us all this time. All of this is done in the name of Canadian unity. Is done in the name of adopting the position that both the Conservative Party and the Liberal Party have taken, that Donald Trump and the Americans are our enemy, and we must realign Canada away from the United States, even though proximity to the United States is one of our most valuable assets. We're going to sign a defense pact with the EU. We're going to realign. None of this is going to benefit the people. None of this is going to benefit the person living on a reserve who doesn't have clean water. None of this is going to solve anything. It's not going to solve the inflation problem. It's not going to solve the inherent prosperity problem. It's not going to solve the fact that the Canadian government is absolutely dead set against fossil fuels and their development. It's not going to solve Agenda 2030. It's not going to solve the Paris Climate Treaty, which we're still dedicated to. It's not going to solve the pursuit of net zero. It's all just playing around, and more importantly, it's not going to solve all those underlying critical flaws in the Federation. We should be seeking our solutions elsewhere. We clearly don't have a functional opposition in this country. When it comes to Ukraine, they're the same as the Liberal Party. When it comes to the Middle East, they're the same as the Liberal Party. When it comes to Donald Trump, they were more than happy to jump on the Orange Man Mad bandwagon. And it didn't win them anything. And now in the wake of it, instead of voting against the government, instead of telling the truth, instead of saying, one Canada might be bad if it's concentrated in the hands of the Liberals, they're like, you know what? We're going to do a few amendments and we're going to pass the thing. We're going to give the Liberals that have been in power for 10 years under a new figurehead, imported from Europe, imported from outside, the central banker, the premier financier, the World Economic Forum man, we're going to give them the opportunity to fix the country. Are you shitting me? You know what? I see a whole pile of people buying it. I know I'm going to be in the minority. I understand why my channel grows by inches instead of by feet. Because I'm not going to tell the story. I'm not going to spin the narrative. I'm not going to fly cover for the toxicity that has undermined and destroyed Canada for most of my life, but has accelerated to such a degree in the last 10 years. It defies the imagination. And then you add to that some of our best voices, some of our most talented people, they're just leaving. They're up and leaving Canada. And setting aside the issue for a minute that once people leave Canada and they get wherever they go, whether it's the United States or it's down in Central America or wherever they go, they get there and all they do is bash Canada and Canadians. And I just can't help but feel sympathy for the millions of people who are stuck here and can't just up and leave because they don't have the money or they don't have the work skills. They have ties that they can't abandon because they're loyal. And so many people just pour fuel on the fire. It's like they just want to see all 40 million of us burn once they leave, and it sucks. But the fact is they're leaving, and they're leaving with reason. And some of our most brilliant political activists that are the most effective are quitting at this time because they're demoralized or they have other things that are calling them or they're sick of the workload. And our official opposition in the House of Commons is just voting for the Liberal agenda now. Why even bother having a Conservative Party of Canada? Bill C-5 does nothing, even with their precious amendments, which they're doing victory laps around as if they did something. Even with their precious amendments, all it does is centralize power in the hands of people who have been destroying this country for a very long time and doing it quite aggressively. Nothing's going to change here, folks. Go in the direction that we're going. This is why I said in yesterday's video and the video before that Saskatchewan and Alberta really need to be considering their options and trying to get out and trying to do something different. Because more of the same is all that's coming to us. More decline, more lack of prosperity, higher taxes, greater difficulty even having an opinion. In a nation where your rights can be suspended by the government on a whim, and when they're found to have done it wrongly, they don't face accountability. A country where your property rights aren't even guaranteed. You have no right to any of your property. The government can just outlaw it without even a vote. They can go to the Governor General and get a signature, and boom, your property is illegal. Seizure, you name it, asset forfeiture, they can do whatever they want. They can do it. C-5 doesn't fix any of that. It enables that. It gives them even greater authority to do that. And a lot of the other bills, we're talking about C-5. I made videos about the other bills and how they assault provincial autonomy and how it's all about centralizing power. I don't see other podcasters talking about all of these other bills. It's like they just talk about what is on the docket today. What everybody's already talking about, that's what everybody's talking about. Nobody's looking to see what else is out there. I shouldn't say nobody. It's not nobody. I'm being overly general there. The vast majority, though, they're not thinking outside the box, but why would they? In their defense, why would they? It doesn't work. You can't seem to grow exponentially thinking outside the box. I can understand why. And some of the most effective people that I know aren't even big on social media, and they're getting out. They're leaving their fields of effect for different reasons. I don't even judge them for it. The thing is, it's like, I can understand a person's reason for wanting to exit stage left. They got families, they got obligations, they want to go and do other things. But when you take it and look at the whole picture, it's like we're just losing our best. Over and over and over again, we're just losing our best, which is why we can't put anything cohesive together. National politics sucks. The Federation sucks. It's so backwards. It's so wrong. And it's so hard to get people to just admit it because they rally around the flag. They rally around talking points, or worse yet, they treat political parties like hockey teams. If you're on Team CPC, they can do no wrong. Or if they do wrong, it's unspecific wrong. You can say, I don't like everything they do, but, they're good. I got very specific during the election cycle about what I liked and what I didn't like. But we're just, how can people pretzel logic themselves into thinking voting for C-5 is a net benefit to this country with the Liberals in office, with conservative support visibly declining in the polls? At a time when the country's sovereignty is being given away to Europe and China and the United States, we have yet to see that yet, but it's coming. Carney is not an enemy of the Americans. He's not Mr. Elbows Up. But I don't even know if the details, when they come out, are going to make an impact on anybody. Because it doesn't seem like the facts matter. People want stories. They want narratives. They want fantasy land. They want to be spoon-fed this idea that there's solutions. Donald Trump, I guess, tweeted last night or today. I don't know when he tweeted it, but he tweeted, "Trust the plan." And everybody's just all about that again. QAnon is coming back, even though it's like 2020 didn't happen. It's like the interspersed 4 years, and they pretend that Biden wasn't really in office. That none of the things he did were like, it's like they talk about this master plan and how everything's Machiavellian and the outcome is certain and everything. It's just so fantastical. People just want to be led, and they don't seem to care who does the leading. And they don't seem to care to want to hold them accountable. Once they've picked their team, they stick with that team, and the facts just don't matter. Which leaves those of us who are concerned with seeing the full picture, few that we are, kind of feeling lost.